this is, and we have 5 of them in the Chesapeake Bay watershed that have been monitored for the last number of years. This is in Mashpee, Massachusetts. It's right around the corner from Town Hall. This is for, if I remember right, 24 unit subdivision and some commercial space. This is the system before the ground was put over it. It's underneath the parking lot. So all those tanks are H20 tanks. The wastewater comes in, septic tank goes through the biofilter, then goes to the Nitrex filter, from there to the pump station, goes into the drain field. The energy use is extremely low. Systems that we're using, on the individual system, it's $35 a year at a kilowatt. I believe it's 15 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay, it doesn't get any smaller than that. Now, in terms of performance, this, you can see it was 2006 is when it became operational. So you can see pretty steady Eddy. The average is a little over 3. There's been some episodic events that are easily explainable. So this is another one in Eastham, where it's a 10,000 gallon a day system, and you'll see here very consistent effluent quality, averaging close to 2. The third one I wanted to show you is in Malibu, California, where we put together a system for a shopping center right next to famous Surfrider Beach. So environmentally very, very, sensitive, if you will. And the 3-year geometric means, which is what EPA uses for, if you will, certifying performance, is at the end of the day 2. Okay, so that's the geometric mean of data that's collected every week. And for those of you who know California, if you do something wrong in California, you get shot. So, and it's not the average that has to be above the number. All of them have to be, anything above that is considered a permanent deviation. So there's the cost that I was mentioning. I wanted to get to the PRV. So that's wastewater treatment. And again, is it the end all? No, but we think it's an important component that can be done tomorrow. Also, the state of Massachusetts has a $6,000 tax credit for primary residents that repairs their septic system that can be used. So that's available. Now you're talking plus or minus $20,000 versus sewering that was proposed at 50 to 60. So it should be obvious. Now, in terms of the groundwater treatment, what does that look like for those of you not familiar with it? We're basically putting the Nitrex system in the groundwater, and we're basically building a riparian wetland. That's how this all came to, from our work with wetlands. And we're building a living wetland, so it's referred to as a riparian. The contaminated water, if you will, the high nitrogen water goes through them. We all know septic systems work well, they just don't take out enough nitrogen. So 2 systems were installed by a grant. I should mention that we won the design competition 10 years ago in Falmouth to deal with the issues on some of the ponds. And so it's nice, nothing's been done since then. So it has been discussed for a number of years. But the 2 systems were installed from the in Wacoit Bay. I'm getting a high five here. So this is one of them on the Charles River, right along the shoreline from someone's house. These are the monitoring wells, up gradient and down gradient of the barrier. This is the barrier at the Wacoit Bay Reserve Center. It's installed underground, about 6 feet into the water. Beautiful photograph taken by the Chris Weidman there at the center. He was walked by it one morning, and no algae growth in front of the barrier. For those of you who remember, that July 2009, June, very, very wet month. The groundwater velocities were higher then. Our belief is that there was a microzone created there. So it works, is the bottom line. Here's the data that they've collected. This is the high concentration of nitrogen. You'll see this is the extent of the barrier, and you'll see, by the time it gets through a third of the barrier, it's gone. So what that tells us, these barriers don't need to be big. They don't need to be, in our opinion, probably more than about 3 feet. so it's easy to install. The last slide is the actual numerical data that you'll see the influent is around 7 milligrams per liter. Note log scale here, and the effluent is, you know, what is it, 0.05 total nitrogen. So we have systems that work. These systems are half the price to less than half the price, and they can be implemented tomorrow. They're cost competitive, and they work. They've been accepted in other parts of the country, and they're operational. So we're looking forward to discussions with the committee, and thank you for your attention.